Africa is in transition. I would that many of our presidents, no matter how they started, along the way, they would change and accept that they are there more or less on the bidding of their people. That's the Constitution again.
Their people.
Their people.
If
first.
their people are citizens and have rights,
yes,
and can exercise them.
Yes. If such presidents would give the people their rights, because the rights belong to the people. You perhaps at a point you might have hijacked them, but if along the way, say there's a brainwave, and on that basis you restore the rights to the people.
How do you
and submit to them, to the people along the way, or begin to take the steps to do the right things by the people. I would say, why not? We are maturing. When you look back into history, many so-called developed country of today had some history of very questionable leadership.
Correct.
But along the way, they found some reform, and bit by bit, they've gotten to where they are now. I see Africa as in transition. Because not quite 2 decades ago, there were more strongmen and dictators on the continent than there were constitutional leaders. But as I speak with you now, there are more elected leaders than the strongmen, meaning Africa too is transforming. And I also believe that what's happening in north of Africa, the people power, is spreading like wildfire all over. And that the people everywhere will begin to make their own leaders and will make them by constitutions. And so the leaders who are in position, if they would take a leaf from what is happening elsewhere and begin to show the transformation, I would say, why not?
What would you say was the single most important decision that you made during your presidency? And what about the single most regrettable decision that you may have made during your presidency?
The one decision I took, and it was in the first year of taking office, the economy had stagnated. Ghana was virtually insolvent. We couldn't get any help from anybody. And so we thought the macroeconomy had to be recovered quickly for us to become credit-worthy, because without that, there was no way we could sort of pursue the policies we had promised in our manifesto. So I said Ghana should take the highly indebted poor countries initiative. It wasn't popular, even within my cabinet. Right. People thought it was demeaning. But eventually, I got my government around to agree with me. And that was like a key with which we turned the corner, and everything started falling into its proper place. And I believe the success of Ghana now, as a beacon of good governance, all started from that. And so I'm very proud of that. In terms of regrets, I'm not boasting, but I tried to be as pragmatic as possible, and it worked. I didn't allow ideology to tie me down, and I opened Ghana up to both East and West, so we made friends everywhere, and with that, goodwill flowed to Ghana, and I believe that was the success. Naturally, it wasn't a perfect system, but within the constraint of time, because it was a 4-year term, building institutions and that sort of thing, we made some mistakes, but I wouldn't say radical mistakes. And so that's what I would say.